Every time I watch Forrest Gump, I can't help but wonder, can a man really be so lucky? In the film, Forrest's journey takes him from war hero to table tennis champion to shrimping magnate, all without a single plan or goal. So what makes him successful? Is it luck or something else? Today you'll find out why Forrest Gump could be the ultimate guide to success. It may seem that fate is favouring him, but that's not the case. Forrest just never hits the brakes. Therein lies the message the film is trying to convey. Most stories have a common unspoken rule. The protagonist must face trials that he must overcome with difficulty. Without such trials, the film becomes boring. Who wants to see Andy Dufresne escape from prison in his first week of incarceration and Frodo take the ring to Mount Doom on an eagle? It's a good rule of thumb, and it works. Conflict drives the story, makes us empathise with the hero. But Forrest Gump is structured very differently. It's as if Forrest doesn't need any effort to get results. He went to a prestigious college, became a war hero, won a ping pong tournament, founded a multi-million-dollar company, ran across America several times and met 3 presidents. This is probably the only film in which the hero has no specific goal, and he does one thing or another from time to time. He's like a feather following the wind. Forrest doesn't make decisions about his destiny. Every time decisions are made for him. You want to go to Vietnam? Why not? Buy a boat and go into the shrimping business? That's a great idea. In every story, Forrest comes out on top. He tells his life story to random people, and nobody believes him. It's impossible for a man to be so talented. At first glance, it may appear to be done for comic effect. He taught Elvis to dance and gave John Lennon the idea for the song.
No possessions? No religion too?
A person born with mild mental retardation does things that would take an enormous amount of effort for a normal person to do. But that is only half the truth. The film tells us that, like Forrest, we can achieve the same results in any area if we give it our all. Forrest has qualities that are the foundation or key to success. First and foremost is a focus on the process rather than the end result. When dreaming of fame and fortune, it is difficult to pay enough attention to the day-to-day reality. Even if the task is boring and monotonous, Forrest is able to focus on it and maintain his concentration for a long time. This is a quality you must have if you want to achieve success and excellence in any endeavour. Success is not something single and abstract. It is a series of monotonous, routine and boring activities. Forrest has one great advantage: a low intelligence that does not allow him to get bored and start questioning the point of repeating actions. He simply enjoys doing them, and that leads to mastery. There's a theory that success doesn't come instantly. It takes 2 years of practice no matter what field we're in, or that we only become good at what we do after 10,000 hours of practice. It's great to dream about it. There is no such thing as luck. Forrest was successful in football, not because he was lucky, but because he loved to run. He spent his entire childhood running away from bullies. He became good at what he did every day. Many people are afraid to start their own business because they think they are unworthy and not talented enough. Forrest Gump shows that a person can do anything, no matter what they are predisposed to do. Even if you don't stand out from the crowd, you can be the best at whatever you choose to do. It sounds like a slogan from a motivational advert, but it's really true. There are no unworthy people, only laziness and lack of confidence. It comes from fear of criticism. What's strange is that no one expects you to be good the first time. Forrest Gump tells us about the futility of shame and insecurity. Every time he goes out in public, he acts like a complete idiot. And most importantly, no one laughs at him. He showed his bare bottom to President Johnson, told JFK in a meeting that he wants to pee, and gave a speech to thousands with the microphone off. Fear of criticism is a completely useless phenomenon. It is impossible to succeed without getting rid of this feeling. On the contrary, criticism is necessary. Only with its help can you improve yourself and do what you love better. Who else but other people can tell us all the things we are doing wrong at the moment? It doesn't take much to start doing what you love, and all it takes is desire and effective time management. As we know, Forrest's era of adulthood was in the 60s and 70s. Televisions weren't popular then, they didn't fit in the palm of your hand, and the internet only existed in the form of local networks in the largest companies. So Forrest had a lot of free time, and he spent it doing what he wanted to do. In the army, Forrest began to practice table tennis, devoting all his days to it, making it to China, and winning the international championship there. All he did to win was eat, sleep, and play table tennis. When no one would play with him, he would play with himself. This is an excellent example of how time should be spent. Working on a shrimp boat, Forrest pulled shells and rubbish out of the nets every time. But he was undeterred and kept going out to sea in search of a spot with a good catch. That's how it happened. He turned his small business into a small empire. Later, he had 12 boats under his command. He did not know how to catch shrimp, and only knew about it from the words of a deceased friend whom he had promised to help after the war. He started the business without much thought or hindsight. Sometimes people would look at his actions and ask,
"Are you stupid or something?"
Forrest would always reply,
Stupid is, stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
"That's something to learn from." Forrest cares about what he does. He puts his vision before the opinions of people who think differently. You make your own destiny, and no one can tell you what to do or when to do it. There is a clear line of destiny in this film, and it is embodied in Forrest's mother, in Lieutenant Dan, in Jenny, and in Bubba.
We all have a destiny. Nothing just happens, it's all part of a plan.
Most of us and the people close to Forrest have some idea of what life should be like. The characters in the film clearly know what they want. They have goals and ambitions.
I want to be famous. I want to be a singer like Joan Baez.
I'm going into the shrimping business for myself after I get out the army.
But Forrest doesn't waste time talking about how things should be. He's the kind of simple and open-minded person who constantly senses the miracle that touches our lives.
Now, my mom always told me that miracles happen every day. Some people don't think so, but they do.
He's able to see possibilities in the most unexpected and yet obvious places. The irony is that while Forrest's more determined friends show indecision, he gradually fulfills all their dreams. He becomes a war hero, something Lieutenant Dan wished for.
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
He realizes Jenny's dream of fame.
A few months later, they invited me and the ping pong team to visit the White House. So I went.
And starts the hugely successful shrimping business that Bubba dreamed of.
Are you telling me you're the owner of the Bubba Gump Shrimp Corporation?
Yes, sir. We got more money than Davy Crockett.
Here we see a clash of two philosophies, two ways of looking at life. The first is that we are all destined for fate, and there is little we can do about it. The second is that we make our own destiny. Standing over Jenny's grave, Forrest realizes that his loved ones are right. Some events are inevitable and predetermined by fate, and some are pure chance. But we can respond differently to what happens around us, and we can respond differently to events.
If we each have a destiny, or if we're all just floating around accidental like on a breeze.
This is embodied in the central symbol of the story, the feather that opens and closes the film. It is the first and last thing we see in the frame. Tom Hanks described it in an interview as follows: "Our destiny is determined only by how we handle the elements of chance in our lives. The feather reflects this very idea. It could end up anywhere, but it ends up at Forrest's feet. And Forrest picks up the feather as if to seize the chance and opportunity that life offers him." Forrest's mother used to say that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And as we can see, Forrest didn't get the best candy from the box, but he makes up for it with perseverance and his incredible gift of seeing miracles happen every day. Forrest Gump shows us the importance of making the most of what we are given.
You do your very best now, Forrest.
I sure will, Mama.
I happen to believe you make your own destiny. You have to do the best with what God gave you.
This is exactly what Forrest does. The film Forrest Gump was so full of ideas that you could write a manual on how to be successful. It tells the story of a man who has achieved everything, but has not diminished as a person. It reminds us that nothing in the world is impossible if you have the desire and the will to change your life. There is a man in each of us who is capable of anything. We just have to let it out.